Being organized sounds so boring. It's really funny, someone said this to me years ago and it's stuck with me because being organized does not mean that you're a boring person. So let's unpack the beliefs we might have around being organized, what the benefits are, and bust some of these myths today. So let's dive in. Hello there, friend, and thank you for joining me today. I wanted to unpack a question that has come up a few times, and it's interesting because we're living in an age now where it feels like a lot of people value minimalism and being organized and being almost like micro-organized, that every little room or every little box or every little cupboard is perfectly organized and neat. And I don't know that that is either realistic for some people, and there's a lot of beautiful content here on YouTube on people who organize every little bit of their life, and it's really inspiring, and I love watching people clean and organize and declutter things. However, having every little bit of your life organized is not really realistic or attainable for most of us. And I think that's the part of minimalism that some people have an issue with, because you might see these videos of people who have everything perfectly organized and everything perfectly kind of under control. And I dare say that most of us, myself included, and I'm an avid minimalist, sometimes my home gets out of control, sometimes my budget blows out, sometimes things happen that really change my life. And I'm not organized about everything all the time. But one thing that I wanted to address, and I mentioned it earlier on, is that being organized sounds really boring. And actually, I dare say for me, how I think about being organized or having a minimal lifestyle is that by having less, I can be more intentional and have a lot more fun. For example, meal planning is a huge part of my week, and if you have followed along on the channel, you know that I love meal prepping and managing my food budget. I will link a playlist for you up here as well as down below if you're looking for some meal planning inspiration. But for example, someone might go, oh, that's really boring. You know, you eat the same thing, or you eat the same thing for 3 days or something like that. The thing is, if I meal plan or meal prep for 1 to 2 hours every week, I can eat healthy. I don't think about food. I don't stress about food. I don't think about what we're going to do. It's kind of something that for my partner and I works exceptionally well, because we can eat healthy, we can manage our budget, and we know what we're going to eat through the week. I'm not a creative cook. It's not an expression for me to cook stuff. I mostly cook so that I can have healthy fuel for my body and for my life. So by being organized and doing that, which might be boring for some people to stand there and cook or prep their food, but the fun thing is that by doing that and only dedicating 1 to 2 hours a week to doing that, I have the whole rest of the week to focus on creativity, YouTube videos, growing my coaching business, other things that I care a lot more about than meal prepping. So for me, being organized unlocks freedom. Now, everyone might not see it that way, but I'd love for you to share in the comments below when it comes to organization, what beliefs you have. So feel free to share that below, or if you are a minimalist as well and you've had people say things like, oh, being organized is really boring, please let me know in the comments below what your answer usually is to that. The other thing for me personally that being organized allows me to do is to be more efficient. This doesn't always mean that I have more freedom, but being more efficient with things means that I don't waste things, and I hate waste. So it means not wasting food. It means not wasting my time on things that simply don't matter that much to me. It actually means that I get a lot more of the things that are important because I'm organized. And perhaps one of the most important things of all when it comes to being organized and why it's not boring is that it actually helps reduce stress. When we have structure, for most of us, including those people who are naturally unorganized, by having some very simple habits, we can reduce stress in our life. And I actually think that that's a very, very good thing. We live in a stressful time, and it's easy to get swept up in overwhelm and doing too much at the same time, or trying to stretch ourselves way too thin when that's not even desirable. So being organized and living more minimally has actually allowed myself and my partner to stress a whole lot less. Do I still get overwhelmed? Of course, I'm only human, and there are some days when there is just a lot more to do and a lot more things to care about. But most importantly, I recognize it now, and I know by being organized, it unlocks freedom, it unlocks time and efficiency, and it allows me to stress a lot less. And finally, I guess, it allows me to not sweat the small things. Sometimes I think in my life before I became more deliberate about these sort of things, I used to stress and sweat the small things a whole lot more than I do now. So those are just some of the ways that I would answer that question, that being organized is boring. Maybe it's okay to be a bit boring sometimes if you're looking after your mental health, your finances, and keeping your life on track. So anyway, those are my thoughts and potential answers to that question. I don't think being organized is necessarily boring. I think it is the key to unlock an awful lot of other things and to allow you to spend time, energy, and money on the things that actually matter to you, rather than stressing about things that don't matter so much. So if you need some help getting organized, if you know someone who needs some help getting organized, in the description box below is a link to a very short online course that I've created to help naturally unorganized people get in charge of their life in a few simple steps with printables, checklists, and all that sort of stuff. So if you're interested in that, or if someone in your world is interested in that, make sure to check that course out. It's very, very cheap, and it's a really quick way to get things on track in your life.